The St. Johns River cuts through Florida like an ancient serpent, flowing north for 310 miles through cypress swamps and marshlands. On moonlit nights when mist rises from its dark waters, locals say the river holds secrets deeper than its murky depths. In 1953, on a day like any other on Lake Dexter, Buck Dillard was guiding a couple on what should have been a routine fishing trip. As an Astor resident and experienced river guide, he'd spent countless hours on these waters, learning their moods and mysteries. But nothing in his years of experience could have prepared him for what emerged from the depths that day. The Orlando Sentinel would later report Dillard's encounter, a creature he described as stretching 35 feet in length, its horned head rising from the dark waters. This sighting would mark the beginning of a period of increased reports along the St. Johns River, as more witnesses came forward with their own encounters with something that defied explanation. Welcome to Mysteries of the Marsh, where we uncover the Sunshine State's strangest legends, darkest secrets, and untamed mysteries. I'm Samantha, a 7th-generation Floridian with a passion for unraveling the quirkiest and most fascinating stories from our state's wild past. And trust me, Florida has no shortage of tales to tell. Growing up here, I didn't just hear about sea monsters and outlaws. I lived in the land of gator-filled ditches, hurricane parties, and towns that seemed to vanish overnight. My fascination with Florida's untold stories started early, fueled by my family's tales about legendary storms, resilient communities, and the unique characters who shaped the place we call home. This isn't your average history lesson. We'll dive into tales of mystery, adventure, and the downright strange. From serial killers and sea monsters to the curious and the unexplained, every episode will take you deeper into the heart of Florida's weird and wild past. So grab some bug spray, settle in, and prepare to unravel one of the Sunshine State's most perplexing legends, the creature known as Johnnie or Pinky, the St. Johns River Monster. Our story doesn't begin with Buck Dillard. To find the first documented sighting of something strange in these waters, we need to travel back to February 18, 1849. On that day, at the mouth of the St. Johns River, Captain Adams of the schooner Lucy and Nancy encountered something that would puzzle believers and skeptics alike for generations to come. As reported in the Examiner newspaper, Adams and his crew witnessed what he described as an immense sea monster, which he took to be a serpent. The creature lifted its head, which was like that of a snake, several times out of the water, and at such times displayed most of its body, exhibiting a pair of frightful fins several feet in length. Adams, a seasoned mariner, estimated the beast to be about 90 feet in length, with a neck that tapered from the head of the body and appeared to be about 7 feet across the widest part of the back. Its color, he noted, was a dirty brown. The citizens of Jacksonville vouched for Captain Adams' character, finding it unthinkable that he would fabricate such a tale. Between 1955 and 1961, the St. Johns River became a hotbed of mysterious encounters, with the majority of sightings concentrated between Astor Park and Lake Monroe. The Blue Springs area, already known for its manatee population, became an unexpected hotspot for something far more mysterious. In October 1953, the Orlando Sentinel reported an offer that captured the public's imagination. Owen Godwin, owner of Godwin Snake Village in Kissimmee, promised a substantial reward, $5,000 for a living specimen of the river monster, or $1,000 for a deceased one. The creature, Godwin specified, had to be at least 30 feet long and possess a horn like a narwhal or unicorn. At least 6 witnesses claimed it did. During this period, one witness claimed to observe the creature on land near the river's edge. They described its skin as gray and elephant-like, noting how it left a wide, flattened path through the bushes as it moved. Another report came from two fishermen who experienced a sudden upheaval beneath their boat, accompanied by a great bubbling that nearly capsized their vessel. To understand how something extraordinary could remain hidden in these waters, we need to understand the St. John's River itself. This isn't just any waterway. It's a river that has drawn people to its banks for over 5,000 years. The Timucua and Macama peoples were the first to make their homes along these waters. When the French arrived in 1562, establishing an outpost that predated Jamestown, they found a river teeming with life. The Spanish would later name it Rio de San Juan, which the English would anglicize to St. John's after acquiring Florida in 1763. This 310-mile waterway begins in the marshes of Indian River County and empties into the Atlantic Ocean near Jacksonville. It's one of the few rivers in the United States that flows northward. Its gradual slope and slow flow creating a unique ecosystem. The river's lower basin experiences tidal influences, creating a mix of freshwater and brackish water that supports an extraordinary range of life. This estuarine environment allows species to adapt to varying salinity levels, creating ecological niches unlike anywhere else in America. Today, the river hosts an extraordinary array of life. 183 species of fish call these waters home, with 55 species in the main stem alone. Some marine animals, like the Atlantic stingray, have adapted to live in its freshwater reaches. The river's unique mix of fresh and salt water allows dolphins, sharks, and manatees to venture far upriver. But the river faces its own challenges. Water time, an invasive aquatic plant, has transformed parts of the waterway, forming dense mats that obstruct passage and alter habitats. These underwater forests create perfect hiding places, or perfect conditions for misidentification. With such diverse wildlife, it's natural to wonder, could something else be lurking in these complex waters? Could the river's unique combination of deep channels, hidden springs, and mixing waters harbor a creature yet unknown to science? The 1960s brought something new to the legend, a witness with scientific training. Mary Lou Richardson, a biology student, was bow hunting along the St. John's River with her father and a friend when they encountered something that defied scientific explanation. What emerged from the water that day, Richardson would describe as a donkey-sized dinosaur with a large, flat head mounted on a relatively small neck. That same day, 4 other separate groups reported seeing an identical creature in the same stretch of river. The reports caught the attention of renowned cryptozoologist Ivan T. Sanderson, who featured the sightings in Argosy magazine. His coverage brought national attention to the St. John's River monster, elevating it from local legend to a subject of serious investigation. The events of May 1975 would bring the most detailed account yet. Wallace McLean, a 24-year-old Jacksonville glass installer, was out fishing with 4 friends when Brenda Langley suddenly stood up, pointed at the water, and gasped. Dorothy Abram provided what remains the most precise description of the creature. She reported seeing what looked like a dinosaur with its skin pulled back so all its bones were showing. The head, which sat atop a 3-foot-long neck, was almost the size of a full-grown man's, with 2 snail-like horns that each had a little bone-like knob at the end. On each side of the head, flaps of skin hung down over what appeared to be gills. The mouth was large and turned downward, and the eyes were slanted and very dark. But most striking was its color. Pink as a boiled shrimp, McLean would later insist to reporters. "If it wasn't pink," he stated, "then I'm not sitting here talking to you." The other 4 passengers on the boat, including Abram's husband, Charles, agreed that what they saw looked almost prehistoric, as if a dinosaur had walked right out of the past and ended up directly in front of them. All 5 witnesses noted that when the creature submerged, it left no ripple on the surface of the water. The legend of Pinky has become deeply woven into the fabric of local culture. Stories passed down through generations are shared around campfires and in local taverns. Artists and writers have captured the creature in paintings, novels, and plays. And festivals celebrate the legend with games, boat rides, and monster spotting tours. The creature's impact on tourism began in the 1950s, as curious visitors flocked to the area hoping to catch a glimpse of the mysterious beast. Local businesses capitalized on the phenomenon, offering boat tours and souvenirs. Even today, eco-tours and wildlife excursions along the St. Johns River incorporate the legend into their narratives, enhancing visitors' experience of these mysterious waters. As reports of the creature spread, scientists and researchers began proposing explanations for what people might be seeing in the St. Johns River. Marine Patrol Captain D.B. Newbold, who had been collecting reports since the 1950s, offered the most straightforward explanation. "What they're seeing are manatees playing," he told the Tampa Tribune in 1976. Dr. Harold J. Hum, a University of South Florida marine science professor, suggested another possibility: moray eels, which can reach lengths of 15 to 20 feet and come in both dark and brightly colored varieties. However, even Hum admitted this explanation had its flaws. Moray eels rarely surface, and their presence in the St. Johns River would be highly unusual. Cryptozoologists pointed to the existence of other large aquatic creatures, like the Japanese and Chinese giant salamanders, which can grow to lengths of 5 to 6 feet. These creatures can display a pinkish coloration due to their diet, a detail aligning with the description of Pinky. Some researchers proposed a more prehistoric possibility: a surviving population of Thescelosaurus neglectus, a dinosaur that once roamed North America. At 11 feet in length and related to the iguanodon family, this creature's description matched some aspects of the river monster sightings. Earl Boylston and H.L. Walters, 2 Jacksonville residents who'd tracked the creature since the early 1960s, eventually offered what they believed was the solution to the mystery: a line of otters swimming nose to tail, creating the illusion of one long serpentine creature. Walters wryly noted, "Besides, this is Florida. If there really was a sea monster, some redneck would have shot it by now." But John Baumgartner, who had his own encounter while working as a foreman for the Jacksonville Public Works Commission, remained unconvinced of what he saw. He and his crew witnessed something with a watermelon-sized head that actually sprayed water from the top of its head, as he described. Simon Smith, a keeper of snakes and lizards who's tracked the legend for decades, maintains that Johnnie is a she, arguing that the varying colors witnesses report, from pink to beige to dark gray, could simply be the result of sand, salt, and sun on the creature's skin. Today, while the pink-skinned Pinky of the 1970s is rarely reported, mysterious sightings continue. Modern witnesses describe more serpentine creatures, massive eel-like forms that glide through the dark waters. The St. Johns River, with its unique ecosystem and countless hiding places, continues to guard its secrets. As John Baumgartner reflected on his encounter, what struck him most wasn't fear, but wonder. The creature, he said, didn't look like a mean son of a gun, just kind of casual. He looked so kind and innocent. Whether monster or myth, the legend of the St. John's River monster reminds us that even in our modern world, mystery endures. As Wallace McLean put it, defending what he and his friends saw that day in 1975, "If it wasn't real, then I'm not sitting here talking to you." Thanks for slogging through the weird and wild with me today. Florida's swamps, shores, and skies are full of strange secrets and untold stories, and this is just the beginning. From ghost towns to sunken treasure, mysterious volcanoes to lurking legends, there's no end to the bizarre beauty waiting to be uncovered. So stick around, because if there's one thing I've learned, Florida always has one more surprise up its sleeve. Until next time, stay curious, respect the swamps, and, of course, don't feed the gators.